through the roof. I'm saying in about 12 minutes.
Madison, and get the hell out of there.
Whatever.
Prepare for landing.
Save him. We fixed. Good to go?
Yes. All right, one.
That's it.
Okay, take her. Take her. I still have her. Come on, Betty.
I'm sorry, but...
Madison, stay here. It's gonna...
Stand clear.
means this is Foster.
Wait here. I don't know, honey.
What are you waiting for? Wake it up.
Number two still spinning up.
Again, I say urgent action!
Madison, no!
Everybody hold on!
I got it! Go! Go!
All fighters.
Cargo to Gold.
Soul Squadron, engage on our 6. High. Duster 223.
Monster 0, 60 seconds! Zero, 30 seconds! Jesus, killing each other.
Hey, left one. And we got kids on board.
Are unresponsive.
Manual override.
Anybody else? What's the problem?
What you think you're doing? Come on, man. Come on. What I'm talking about, Grant. Thanks for the lift.
Oh, God.
If I had the two of you for parents...
Really blows.
Order all remaining craft!
We gotta work fast! It's the only way to save him. We fix... Good to go?
Yes. All right, one.
That's it.
Okay, take her. Take her. I still have her. Come on, Betty.
Today, we're diving deep into the monumental clash of Titans that is Godzilla, King of the Monsters from 2019. This one's less about subtle drama and more about colossal monsters throwing down like they're trying to settle a bar tab in an alien dimension. We'll explore Monarch's desperate struggle to save humanity, the reawakening of ancient forces, and why Ghidorah is basically the universe's biggest jerk. I put a lot of work into these, so if you like what you see, a like and a subscribe is always appreciated. No worries if not. So our story kicks off 5 years after Godzilla's grand debut in San Francisco. Humanity is still reeling, trying to process the fact that giant monsters aren't just for Saturday morning cartoons. We quickly learn about Monarch, the clandestine cryptozoological agency tasked with studying these colossal creatures, or Titans as they've been affectionately dubbed. We're introduced to the Russell family, Dr. Emma Russell, a paleobiologist, her estranged husband, Dr. Mark Russell, a wildlife expert, and their daughter, Madison. Turns out their son, Andrew, was tragically lost during Godzilla's inaugural stomp through San Francisco, which has left a gaping, monster-sized hole in their lives and driven Mark away from Emma's work with the Titans. Mark, bless his heart, is now a man who mostly just wants to see all the giant critters put back in their boxes permanently, which is a bit of an occupational hazard when your ex-wife literally dedicates her life to finding and studying more of them. The stage is set for a family drama wrapped in a monster movie, or perhaps a monster movie wrapped in a family drama. It's honestly hard to tell sometimes. Our narrative then zips over to a Monarch outpost deep in the Yucatan Peninsula. Here, Dr. Emma Russell and Madison are observing Outpost 61, a facility built around a dormant Titan cocoon. And not just any Titan, mind you. This is the big one, Mothra, or rather, Mothra's larval form. The atmosphere inside the containment facility is thick with anticipation and the kind of humid, slightly unsettling quiet you only get when a creature the size of a jumbo jet is about to hatch. Emma is working with a device she created called the ORCA, which is essentially a fancy bioacoustic sonar emitter designed to communicate with the Titans. Think of it as a universal translator, but for gargantuan beasts that usually prefer to express themselves through property damage. Madison, ever the curious teenager, is right there with her mom, clearly fascinated by the scientific marvel and totally unaware that her life is about to get significantly more complicated. Suddenly, the colossal cocoon starts to glow with an otherworldly light, a lohum vibrates through the air, and a massive larval creature begins to stir within. The ground rumbles, and the Monarch scientists, who really should be used to this by now, scramble into position. This is the moment they've been waiting for, the grand unveiling of a living legend. The creature inside pushes, straining against its silken prison, and the anticipation is palpable. It's like waiting for a really big, scaly, very dangerous baby to be born. Only this one could accidentally squash you with a wiggle, with a thunderous crack and a sound that could probably strip paint off a battleship. Mothra's enormous larval form finally bursts free from its cocoon. It's a truly awe-inspiring sight, like a giant, very angry caterpillar with too many legs. The creature, naturally, is disoriented and immediately lashes out, sending Monarch personnel scrambling for cover like startled ants. The facility turns into a chaotic ballet of flashing lights, blaring alarms, and the terrified shouts of scientists who probably just wanted a quiet day of cryptozoology. Mothra's roars echo through the caverns, a sound that promises devastation if not appeased. But Emma, ever the cool-headed scientist with a penchant for high-stakes monster whispering, activates the ORCA. She modulates the frequency, sending out calming signals that ripple through the air. Reaching the agitated Titan, slowly, miraculously, Mothra begins to respond, settling down and allowing the scientists to approach. It's a moment of scientific triumph, a testament to Emma's groundbreaking work, and a brief glimpse into a possible future where humanity and Titans might coexist. However, this moment of fragile peace is brutally shattered when a group of heavily armed eco-terrorists, led by the charismatic yet utterly ruthless Alan Jonah, storms the facility. These guys aren't interested in coexistence. They're interested in exploitation. In a blink, the situation devolves from a scientific breakthrough to a tense hostage crisis. Emma and Madison are captured, and to add insult to injury, the terrorists make off with the Orca, the very device designed to bring harmony, now in the hands of those who would sow chaos. Well, that escalated quickly, didn't it? Back in civilization, or what passes for it when ancient behemoths are awakening, Monarch realizes they're in a bit of a pickle. Their star scientist and her daughter are gone, and a super powerful monster communication device is now in the wrong hands. So what's their plan? Naturally, they turn to the guy who absolutely despises Titans and probably just wants to spend his days communing with wolves, Mark Russell, Dr. Ishiro Serizawa, still rocking that intense, thoughtful gaze, and Dr. Vivian Graham, his pragmatic second-in-command, track Mark down to his secluded cabin. The conversation is less, "Hey, want to grab a coffee?" and more, "The fate of the world rests on your ability to forgive your ex-wife and help us track down a device that controls giant monsters." Mark, as you'd expect, is incredibly reluctant. He's still bitter about San Francisco and views all Titans, including Godzilla, as walking extinction events. He's got that classic "I told you so" energy, because, let's be real, he kinda did. But Serizawa and Graham appeal to his paternal instincts, emphasizing that Madison is in danger and Emma's research, even if misguided, could now trigger a global catastrophe if exploited. They explain that the orca, if used improperly, could awaken every single dormant titan on Earth, turning our little blue marble into a very crowded, very dangerous playground for prehistoric giants. Mark, after a moment of intense deliberation and probably thinking about Madison, grudgingly agrees to help. Because at the end of the day, a parent's love for their child often outweighs their deep-seated philosophical disagreements with their ex-wife about whether or not giant lizards are good for the planet. It's always about family. Even when that family is facing down a planetary extinction event, Mark is whisked away to Monarch's colossal, ultra-secret flying fortress of a headquarters, which is basically an aircraft carrier on steroids, capable of traversing the globe with remarkable efficiency. Here, he's given the full briefing on the state of the world's monster problem. And let me tell you, it's a big problem. A holographic display in the operations room lights up, revealing literally dozens of red dots scattered across the planet, each one representing a dormant Titan outpost. It's like a really terrifying game of connect the dots, where each dot is a potential world-ending threat. The Monarch scientists, led by the ever-calm Dr. Ilian Chen, explain the sheer scale of the situation. There are 17 known Titans, not counting Godzilla, and probably more waiting to be discovered. Each one is a sleeping giant, and Jonah with the orca could wake them all. The implications are staggering. If all these Titans awaken, the Earth as we know it would cease to exist. Humanity would be reduced to a footnote in the Titans' grand, destructive resurgence. The sheer number of these creatures, previously only whispered about in myths and legends, is enough to make anyone's jaw drop. Mark, still struggling with his animosity towards these creatures, is forced to confront the larger reality. This isn't just about Godzilla anymore. This is about an entire ecosystem of godlike beings, and Emma's device is the key to unlocking their destructive potential, whether intentionally or not. He's seeing the full scope of what his ex-wife has been working on, and the potential consequences of her radical thinking. It's a truly sobering moment, realizing that the world is far more ancient and terrifying than he ever imagined, and his personal vendetta might just be a tiny footnote in a global crisis. Following a faint signal from the stolen ORCA, Monarch's flying HQ, the Argo sets a course for the most remote and inhospitable place imaginable, Antarctica. Specifically, Outpost 32, a top-secret Monarch facility built around another dormant Titan. The journey is a white-knuckle ride through a howling blizzard, with ice-laden winds battering the colossal aircraft. It's the kind of weather that makes you wish you'd packed an extra sweater, or perhaps a thermal-lined force field. The landscape below is a desolate expanse of ice and snow, perfectly pristine and utterly unforgiving, concealing a secret that could reshape the world. Serizawa, Graham, and Mark are all on board, the tension in the air as thick as the Antarctic fog. They know Jonah is there, and they suspect he's not just there for a sightseeing trip. The stakes are astronomically high. If Jonah manages to awaken whatever behemoth is slumbering beneath the ice, things will go from bad to apocalyptic faster than you can say giant, ice-breathing dragon. Mark, ever the pragmatist, probably just wants to get in, get Emma and Madison, and get out. But the look on Serizawa's face suggests a deeper, more profound concern about the delicate balance of the planet. As they approach the outpost, the storm intensifies, almost as if the very Earth itself is trying to warn them away from disturbing what lies beneath. The frigid air biting at the Argo's hull is a grim prelude to the icy terror that awaits them, a cold embrace promising a world-altering revelation. It's not exactly a relaxing cruise, but hey, at least the views are chilling. Upon arrival at Outpost 32, Monarch finds Jonah's team already hard at work, doing what eco-terrorists do best, messing with things they shouldn't. They're attempting to awaken the Titan encased in the Antarctic ice, with Emma Russell shockingly playing a seemingly cooperative role. Mark watches in horror, shouting her name over the comms, unable to comprehend why she would willingly participate in such a catastrophic act. Then, with a series of concussive blasts that shake the very foundations of the ice, the creature begins to stir. The ice cracks and groans, splitting open like an ancient wound. And from its frozen tomb emerges something truly terrifying, a colossal, three-headed dragon, shimmering with golden scales and radiating an aura of pure, malevolent power. This is Monster Zero, or as the legends call him, Ghidorah, the King of Terror. His awakening is a spectacle of raw, untamed force, a visceral explosion of power that instantly changes the dynamics of the entire planet. The sound of his three heads roaring in unison is a guttural, earth-shattering symphony of destruction, a sound that vibrates through your bones and chills you to the core. The very air around him crackles with unnatural lightning, reflecting his alien nature. Monarch personnel and Jonas mercenaries are thrown around like rag dolls as Ghidorah stretches his immense wings, each beat stirring up a hurricane-force gale. It's clear this isn't just another Titan. This is something far more ancient, far more dangerous, and utterly alien. The sheer presence of this creature, its immense size and terrifying countenance, signals that the world is about to get a whole lot worse, and humanity is merely an inconvenient obstacle in its path. Well, isn't that just a delightful surprise for a Tuesday morning? Just when it seems like humanity is utterly doomed and Ghidorah is about to claim his first grand victory of the day, a familiar dorsal fin, glowing with an ominous blue light, slices through the Antarctic ice. With a thunderous roar that challenges the very heavens, Godzilla bursts forth, rising from the frigid depths like a vengeful god. The king of the monsters has arrived, and he's clearly not happy about this new three-headed intruder crashing his icy party. The immediate reaction is a mix of terror and profound relief. Yay, Godzilla's here to save the day. But also, oh no, two of these things are fighting now. The battle begins with a seismic clash of titans, a primal scream of challenge and fury that echoes across the frozen landscape. Godzilla, with his immense physical strength, charges Ghidorah, and the two colossal beasts engage in a brutal, no-holds-barred brawl. Punches land with the force of meteor strikes, sending shockwaves through the ice. The ground trembles beneath their feet, mountains of ice splintering and collapsing with each impact. Ghidorah retaliates with his powerful gravitational beams, arcs of destructive energy that sizzle and crackle as they strike Godzilla's armored hide. The sheer scale of the fight is mind-boggling, a destructive ballet of prehistoric titans locked in a struggle for dominance. Buildings crumble, ice sheets shatter, and the very air vibrates with the intensity of their battle. This isn't just a fight, it's a redefinition of power, a clash between Earth's ancient protector and an alien invader. Monarch personnel, caught in the middle, scramble desperately to escape the collateral damage, realizing that their carefully constructed facility is now just a minor obstacle in a truly epic slugfest. It's like watching two mountains try to punch each other, only these mountains can breathe fire. Or, you know, gravity beams dot as Godzilla and Ghidorah continue their earth-shattering dance of destruction. Monarch's primary objective shifts from containment to frantic evacuation. Their VTOLs, those sleek vertical takeoff and landing aircraft, scramble desperately to pluck personnel from the collapsing outpost. The sounds are deafening, the roar of the titans, the crack of ice, the thud of debris, and the desperate shouts of Monarch soldiers trying to avoid being flattened by a stray tail swipe. It's a truly chaotic scene, a maelstrom of snow, ice, and monster-induced mayhem. During this frantic escape, Mark, eyes wide with a mixture of anger and despair, spots Emma and Madison. They're not with Monarch's rescue efforts, however. They're being ushered into a separate VTOL belonging to Jonah's mercenary crew. It's a horrifying realization for Mark. Emma isn't a hostage. She's a willing participant in this madness, seemingly collaborating with the very people who unleashed Ghidorah. Her betrayal stings even more than the Antarctic winds. Madison, her face a mask of confusion and fear, looks back at her father, signaling her own profound unease with her mother's actions. The VTOL carrying Emma and Madison disappears into the swirling blizzard, leaving Mark and the rest of Monarch to grapple with the shocking revelation. The fight between Godzilla and Ghidorah rages on, a terrifying backdrop to this deeply personal betrayal. Graham tries to reassure Mark, but the emotional damage is clear. The world is facing an existential threat, and the family drama just got a whole lot more complicated. It's a moment that leaves you wondering if giant monsters are actually less complicated than human relationships probably dot the world. Now acutely aware of Ghidorah's terrifying existence and the sudden awakening of other titans thanks to some strategic orca broadcasts by Emmer, plunges into a state of global panic. This isn't just a local Godzilla incident anymore. It's a full-blown planetary emergency. Politicians, bless their hearts, do what they do best, convene a congressional hearing. The atmosphere is tense, thick with fear and accusations. Military leaders, represented by the ever-skeptical General G.R. Stanton, argue vehemently for the extermination of all titans. Their logic is simple: if it's big and stompy, it's a threat, and threats need to be neutralized, preferably with extreme prejudice. They point to the escalating global destruction, the shattered cities, and the burgeoning refugee crises as irrefutable evidence that these creatures are nothing but destructive forces. Serizawa and Graham, representing Monarch, try to plead a more nuanced case. They explain Monarch's long-held belief that titans are a natural, albeit terrifying, part of Earth's ecosystem, ancient alpha predators whose purpose is to maintain balance. They argue that killing them might actually do more harm than good, disrupting a delicate ecological order that humanity doesn't fully understand. The debate is heated, with politicians demanding immediate action and Monarch advocating for restraint and study. The public, meanwhile, is in a frenzy, clamoring for answers and protection. News reports flash across screens, showing escalating chaos, cityscapes reduced to rubble, mass evacuations, and the growing shadow of fear that these ancient gods have returned to reclaim their world. It's a very public, very loud debate about whether to eradicate or coexist, and the clock is ticking faster than a Kaiju on a rampage. In a truly audacious move that solidifies her status as villain adjacent, Emma Russell broadcasts a chilling message to the entire world. Surrounded by Jonah's ominous mercenaries, she reveals her radical, almost apocalyptic, philosophy. Her argument is, let's say, bold. She believes that humanity is a cancer on the planet, an unchecked virus slowly but surely destroying the Earth's delicate ecosystems. Her solution? Awaken the Titans. In her warped view, these colossal beasts are not monsters but the Earth's immune system, a natural defense mechanism designed to prune humanity and restore the planet's balance. Her voice, calm and eerily rational, explains how the ORCA can not only awaken them, but also direct them. While she broadcasts, a horrifying reality unfolds. Ghidorah, now firmly established as the new Alpha Titan, begins to exert his terrifying will. His three heads emit a distinct, powerful roar that serves as a global summons. Across the world, dormant titans, including Rodan from the volcanic depths of Isla de Mar, stir from their ancient slumber. The sound is a primal, unsettling symphony of awakening, signaling the beginning of Emma's grand, destructive experiment. The sheer scale of this awakening is terrifying. Forests are flattened as creatures larger than mountains burst from the earth. Oceans churn as leviathans rise from the deep. The world is plunged into chaos, a visceral, destructive rebirth dictated by the will of an alien king and a human's misguided hope for a better, if far more brutal, future. It's like a very literal interpretation of tough love for the planet, with humanity as the unwilling recipient, one of the first titans to respond to Ghidorah's call. Courtesy of Emma's orca is the formidable Rodan, the fire demon, slumbering beneath the fiery caldera of a volcano on Isla de Mar, Mexico. As Ghidorah's alpha roar ripples across the globe, the volcano begins to rumble ominously, its seismic activity escalating rapidly. The ground cracks, molten rock boils and churns, and plumes of ash and smoke billow into the sky, signaling the imminent arrival of something truly spectacular and terrifying. Monarch, tracking the seismic shifts, dispatches the Argo to investigate. They arrive just in time to witness the earth-shattering moment. With a colossal explosion of fire and ash, Rodan erupts from the heart of the molten lava. It's a truly breathtaking and terrifying sight, a massive, pterodactyl-like creature, its wings glowing with incandescent heat, its body scarred by volcanic rock, soaring into the smoke-filled sky. Rodan is pure, unadulterated primal power, a living verse of nature, and his awakening is a stark reminder of the destructive majesty of these ancient creatures. The sheer force of his emergence sends shockwaves through the air, knocking Monarch's jets about like toys. His shrieks, a piercing, primal cry, echo through the volcanic landscape, proclaiming his return. Rodan, however, is not immediately subservient. He's a fiery hothead with a massive chip on his shoulder, and he's not about to bow down to just anyone without a bit of a challenge. He starts with the jets because why not? It's a good way to stretch those wing muscles. It's a literal baptism of fire, and the world just gained another very angry, very large flying problem. Rodan, freshly awakened and clearly feeling his oats, decides that the first order of business is to assert his dominance over the skies. And by dominance, I mean mercilessly swatting military jets out of the air like pesky flies, a squadron of F-35s. Bravely but perhaps foolishly, attempts to engage the fiery titan. It's less a battle and more a turkey shoot, with Rodan as the very enthusiastic hunter. He moves with incredible speed and agility, despite his immense size, diving and swooping through the air, creating sonic booms and incinerating jets with the heat radiating from his body. The pilots, poor souls, are caught in a desperate struggle for survival, their comms filled with static, panic shouts, and the sounds of explosions. You almost feel bad for them, almost. The raw, primal power of Rodan is on full display here. He's not just a big bird, he's a living, breathing, flying natural disaster. But just as Rodan is basking in his aerial supremacy, flexing his magnificent, fiery wings, a truly ominous shadow falls across the sky. With a guttural, multi-headed roar that signals unquestionable authority, Ghidorah arrives, trailing storm clouds and crackling lightning. The three-headed terror isn't here to play nice. He's here to bring Rodan into line. The immediate shift in atmosphere is palpable. Rodan, for all his fiery bravado, visibly hesitates, sensing the overwhelming power of the alien alpha. The visual contrast between Rodan's molten fury and Ghidorah's icy, electrical menace is striking, a battle of elemental forces about to unfold. It's like two rival gang leaders meeting in an alley. Only these guys could level the alley, the street, and half the city block without breaking a sweat. The moment Ghidorah and Rodan face off, it's clear who the boss is. Rodan, despite his earlier displays of devastating power against the jets, is quickly reminded of his place in the pecking order. Ghidorah unleashes a torrent of his devastating gravity beams, arcs of golden lightning that smash into Rodan, sending him plummeting towards the ocean. The impact sends a colossal splash of water high into the air, and Rodan, battered and reeling, is no match for the alien king's raw power. Ghidorah then takes it a step further, clamping his three massive jaws onto the stunned Rodan, effectively shocking him into submission with a surge of electrical energy. It's a brutal, unambiguous display of authority, solidifying Ghidorah's status as the undisputed alpha. Rodan, humbled and defeated, lets out a pained shriek, a sound of submission. He now bows to the three-headed king. But just as Ghidorah is reveling in his triumph, issuing another alpha call to the subjugated titans, another familiar presence makes itself known. With a colossal splash and a roar that shakes the very foundations of the sea, Godzilla erupts from the depths of the ocean. He's back, and he's clearly spoiling for a rematch. His rival is a dramatic interruption, a challenge to Ghidorah's newly established reign. The king of the monsters is not about to let an alien invader waltz in and claim his throne without a fight. The visual of Godzilla's immense form emerging from the turbulent waters, his dorsal fins glowing, is a powerful statement. The titans and the world hold their breath. The true king has returned to reclaim his crown, and round 2 is about to commence. It's like when the big boss in a video game gets a power-up, and you realize you've still got another health bar to chew through. The battle between Godzilla and Ghidorah rages on. A maelstrom of gravity beams, atomic breath, and colossal impacts. It's a fight for planetary dominance, and humanity is caught squarely in the middle, suffering the consequences. But the military, desperate and short-sighted, decides to intervene with humanity's deadliest weapon yet, the oxygen destroyer. This isn't just a regular missile. It's a terrifying device designed to eradicate all oxygen, effectively disintegrating anything living within its blast radius. Despite Monarch's frantic warnings that such a weapon could have unforeseen and devastating consequences, a submarine commander, under direct orders, launches the missile. The weapon streaks through the water, a menacing green glow marking its path towards the battling Titans. The impact is catastrophic. A massive, swirling green void erupts underwater, a silent, deadly explosion that consumes everything in its path. Dr. Graham, who had dedicated her life to understanding these creatures, is caught in the peripheral blast and tragically perishes. A stark reminder of the devastating human cost of this war. The devastating effects are immediate. Godzilla, caught squarely in the blast, is engulfed by the green energy. His roars turn into gurgles as he succumbs, his massive form sinking slowly into the murky depths, seemingly dead. Ghidorah, however, being an alien with a completely different physiology, is largely unaffected, flying off seemingly victorious. The silence that follows the blast is deafening, a vacuum of despair that settles over Monarch. Their only hope, their reluctant protector, is gone, and the world is now completely at the mercy of the three-headed terror. It's a truly gut-wrenching moment, a stark reminder that sometimes humanity's attempts to help only make things irrevocably worse, often with tragic, irreversible consequences, like bringing a really big flamethrower to a very delicate antique shop. In the grim aftermath of the oxygen destroyer, with Godzilla seemingly gone and Ghidorah now the undisputed alpha, the world is plunged into an even deeper abyss of despair. Madison, trapped with Jonah's mercenaries and witnessing the terrifying consequences of her mother's actions firsthand, makes a desperate call to Emmer. Her voice is raw with fear and disbelief, tears streaming down her face as she describes the escalating destruction, the cities crumbling, the countless lives lost. She sees the Titans not as healers, but as indiscriminate destroyers, and she's horrified by what her mother has unleashed. But Emma, calm and unnervingly composed even as the world burns around them, dismisses Madison's pleas. In a chilling monologue, she fully lays out her grand, terrifying design. She reveals that her plan was never just about balancing the ecosystem. It was about terraforming the planet, resetting it to a primordial state. In her view, humanity is a plague, and the Titans are the cure, designed to wipe the slate clean and allow a new, purer world to emerge. She even goes so far as to explain that Ghidorah, while dangerous, is a necessary evil, a tool to accelerate the process. Her rationale is deeply flawed, but her conviction is absolute. It's a truly unsettling revelation, a mother sacrificing the present for a twisted vision of the future, seemingly blind to the suffering she's causing. Mark, listening in on the call, is absolutely furious. He sees not a scientist, but a deluded fanatic, and his desperate mission to save his family now morphs into a desperate mission to save the world from his ex-wife's terrifying vision. The conversation ends with Madison hanging up, utterly heartbroken and realizing that her mother has crossed a line from which there might be no return. It's a "my mom is literally trying to end the world" kind of moment, which, let's be honest, is a tough conversation to have. Despite the military declaring Godzilla dead and advocating for a full-scale Titan extermination, Monarch refuses to give up. Serizawa, ever the believer, insists that Godzilla cannot simply be gone. He reminds everyone of the Titan's incredible resilience, its ancient wisdom, and its unique connection to the Earth's energy. The Argo, Monarch's mobile headquarters, is repurposed for a desperate search and rescue mission, or perhaps search and revive mission. They scour the ocean depths, using advanced sonar and thermal imaging to locate any sign of their fallen king. The ocean floor is a vast, dark expanse, full of shadows and crushing pressure, but they cling to a sliver of hope. Mark, spurred by Madison's call and the horrifying implications of Emma's plan, is now fully committed. He understands that Godzilla, for all his destructive power, is their only real hope against Ghidorah. Dr. Chen, ever the historian, recalls ancient myths and legends of Godzilla's regenerative abilities. Stories that suggest the king of the monsters can heal from even the most devastating injuries, especially when exposed to powerful radiation. She speaks of tales of gods and monsters, of cycles of destruction and rebirth, hinting at a power far beyond human comprehension. Slowly, miraculously, their sensors pick up a faint energy signature, a ghostly echo of Godzilla's unique bioradiation, emanating from an impossibly deep trench. It's a faint pulse, a flicker of life in the crushing darkness, but it's enough. It's a follow the breadcrumbs, but the breadcrumbs are radioactive and underwater kind of situation. The faint signal offers a desperate lifeline, a chance to bring back their most powerful ally and perhaps, just perhaps, turn the tide against Ghidorah's reign of terror. It's a long shot, but when the world is ending, sometimes a long shot is all you've got. Following the faint, fluctuating energy signature, Monarch's advanced submarine descends into an impossibly deep, uncharted trench. The pressure outside is immense, enough to crush a regular vessel into a tin can, but their sub is built for these kinds of subterranean adventures. The descent is a tense, claustrophobic journey into the unknown, with only the hum of the sub's engines and the ping of sonar breaking the silence. Then, through the murky depths, a breathtaking and completely unexpected sight emerges. The submarine's powerful spotlights cut through the darkness, revealing not just a cavern, but an entire ancient, sunken city. It's an Atlantean marvel, an architectural wonder seemingly built by an ancient civilization that once worshipped these very titans. Hieroglyphs and colossal structures, perfectly preserved by the ocean, hint at a forgotten history, a time when humanity and monsters might have coexisted, or at least acknowledged each other's godlike status. And in the heart of this magnificent, submerged metropolis, glowing faintly with bioluminescent light, lies Godzilla. He's massive, still, and undeniably injured, covered in scars from the oxygen destroyer, but undeniably alive. He's in a deep, regenerative slumber, drawing power from a natural radiation source within the Earth's core, healing himself in this sacred, hidden sanctuary. It's a moment of profound awe and revelation for Monarch, confirming their theories about Godzilla's deeper connection to the planet and his role as a natural force of balance. Mark watches, captivated, his hatred for the monster momentarily eclipsed by sheer wonder. It's like finding out your grumpy neighbor has a secret, super cool, ancient temple in his backyard, and he uses it to recharge after a tough day. Suddenly, you understand a lot more. Godzilla is alive, yes, but he's barely clinging to life, weakened by the oxygen destroyer. His regenerative process will take time that the world, under Ghidorah's tyranny, simply doesn't have. Mark, now fully convinced that Godzilla is their only hope, suggests a desperate plan: revive him with a nuclear blast. But not just any blast. It has to be administered directly to him, like a very intense, very explosive defibrillator. The military is naturally hesitant because, nuclear weapons are generally bad news. But Serizawa, seeing the larger picture, seeing the balance of the world tilting precariously towards oblivion, knows what must be done. In a truly heroic, utterly heartbreaking moment, he volunteers for the suicide mission. He retrieves a deactivated nuclear warhead, rearms it, and prepares to deliver the ultimate boost to the king of the monsters. His final words to Mark, sometimes: "The only way to heal our wounds is to make new ones resonate with profound wisdom and a deep understanding of sacrifice." He then says goodbye to the world, to his mission, to everything he's ever known, and swims towards the dormant Godzilla, a small, determined figure against the colossal backdrop of the Titan. The moment he activates the warhead, there's a deafening silence on the comms, followed by a blinding flash of light and a massive underwater detonation. It's a gut-wrenching scene, a true moment of self-sacrifice, as Serizawa gives his life to save not just Godzilla, but the entire planet. His belief in coexistence and the delicate balance of nature is solidified in his final, explosive act. It's a tearjerker, even if you're trying to be all tough and sarcastic. He basically gave Godzilla the equivalent of a nuclear espresso shot and paid the ultimate price. What a legend! The aftermath of Serizawa's sacrifice is immediate and spectacular. The ancient, sunken city glows with an otherworldly blue light, reflecting the surging power of the revitalized Titan. Godzilla's eyes, once dull and pained, snap open with a fierce, renewed intensity, radiating pure, unadulterated power. His dorsal fins, now supercharged, glow with an almost blinding luminescence, a vibrant beacon of his rebirth. A guttural rumble starts deep within his chest, growing in intensity until it erupts into a thunderous, triumphant roar that reverberates through the entire ocean, shaking the very foundations of the earth. This isn't just the old Godzilla. This is Godzilla 2.0, souped up and ready to reclaim his throne. He pushes off the ocean floor, his massive body propelled upwards by an incredible surge of power, ascending from the depths like a true mythological god. The water around him boils and churns, unable to contain the sheer energy radiating from his form. It's a moment of pure, cinematic triumph, a powerful visual statement that the king is back, and he's not in the mood for any more three-headed nonsense. The Monarch crew on the Argo, witnessing this incredible resurrection, erupts in cheers and relief. Their despair turns into a desperate hope, fueled by the image of their renewed protector. Mark, watching Godzilla rise, finally understands Serizawa's unwavering faith. This isn't just a monster. He's a necessary force, a defender of the natural order, ready to face down the alien usurper. It's like when the hero finally gets their power-up montage, and you just know it's about to go down. The tide has turned, literally and figuratively, and Ghidorah is about to have a very bad day. While Godzilla is busy getting his glow up, Ghidorah, now the unchallenged alpha, makes his move. He descends upon Boston, unleashing an apocalyptic superstorm that transforms the city into a maelstrom of wind, rain, and unnatural lightning. This isn't just bad weather. It's a living, breathing hurricane designed to terrorize and destroy. And under his command, all the other awakened titans, Rodan, Behemoth, Scylla, Methuselah, and a host of others, begin to converge on Boston, marching through the ruined city like an army of prehistoric gods. It's a truly terrifying sight, a stampede of colossal beasts laying waste to everything in their path, each one a walking, breathing natural disaster. The sounds are a cacophony of destruction, buildings crumbling, screams of terror, the thundering footsteps of giants, and the constant, ominous rumble of Ghidorah's storm. Madison, horrified by the destruction and realizing that her mother's plan has spiraled out of control, decides to take matters into her own hands. She escapes Jonah's clutches and, armed with the ORCA, makes a desperate dash for Fenway Park. Her plan is simple, yet incredibly dangerous. She'll use the ORCA's alpha frequency to lure the Titans away from the city, drawing their attention to herself, a tiny human against a world of monsters. It's a courageous, foolhardy act, a desperate gamble by a child trying to undo her mother's catastrophic mistakes. The stadium, once a place of cheering crowds, is now an empty, ruined shell, waiting to become the epicenter of a new, even more terrifying conflict. She's basically throwing herself into a mosh pit with a bunch of very angry, very large prehistoric celebrities. What could possibly go wrong? Her bravery is undeniable, but the odds are stacked against her in a way that would make even the most seasoned action hero sweat. Madison, now inside the iconic Fenway Park, activates the ORCA, sending out a powerful alpha frequency that cuts through Ghidorah's destructive commands. The effect is immediate and profound. The other Titans, momentarily confused, halt their rampage, their attention drawn to the powerful new signal. But more importantly, Ghidorah, now furious at this human interference, immediately turns his attention to the stadium. His three colossal heads loom over Fenway Park, a terrifying visage of rage and destructive power, lightning crackling round him. The sound of his approach is like 1,000 thunderstorms converging at once, a terrifying crescendo that promises imminent devastation. Madison, a tiny figure in the center of the stadium, is now directly in his crosshairs. She continues to broadcast, knowing full well she's drawing the ultimate wrath upon herself, but her resolve is unshakable. The stadium begins to buckle under the sheer force of Ghidorah's gravity beams, pillars collapsing and concrete shattering with each deafening strike. Just when it seems Madison's courageous stand will end in tragedy, a familiar, triumphant roar echoes through the superstorm. With a colossal splash that sends tidal waves through the city streets, Godzilla surfaces in Boston Harbor, his dorsal fins glowing with an even fiercer blue light. He's here, fully charged, and absolutely spoiling for a fight. His arrival is perfectly timed, a dramatic entry that promises a showdown for the ages. The sight of Godzilla, massive and radiant, rising from the water against the backdrop of Ghidorah's storm, is pure, unadulterated spectacle. The king has come to reclaim his territory and protect the vulnerable, especially the tiny human who just bravely challenged a three-headed alien dragon. It's unlike Donkey Kong. If Donkey Kong was a several hundred-foot-tall lizard and his opponent was a three-headed lightning beast, the moment Godzilla sets foot on Bostonian soil, the battle for the planet truly begins. He charges Ghidorah with a fury born of his near-death experience and the alien's destructive rampage. The two colossal titans collide in a devastating melee that makes their Antarctic skirmish look like a warm-up. This isn't just a fight, it's a city-leveling brawl, an epic clash of titans where every punch, every tail whip, every energy blast causes seismic shockwaves and reduces Boston's iconic skyline to a mere memory. The sounds are a relentless symphony of destruction, the deafening roar of Godzilla, the thunderous shriek of Ghidorah, the metallic groan of skyscrapers buckling and collapsing, and the constant crackle of Ghidorah's gravity beams clashing with Godzilla's atomic breath. It's a light show of unimaginable power, blue meeting gold in a deadly, destructive ballet. Buildings are torn apart, streetlights explode, and the very ground beneath their feet is ripped open by their sheer force. Mark and the Monarch team, trying to navigate the chaos to reach Madison, are caught in the treacherous crossfire. They witness humanity's insignificance in the face of these ancient forces, a humbling and terrifying realization. Ghidorah, still powerful and cunning, focuses his three heads on overwhelming Godzilla, attempting to pin him down with constant barrages of energy. But Godzilla, now fully charged, unleashes his atomic breath with more power and precision than ever before, his determination absolute. He's not just fighting for survival. He's fighting for the planet, for the balance, and for the tiny human who dared to defy the alien king. This is the main event, the ultimate showdown, and the entire world is holding its breath. You know, just another Tuesday in the MonsterVerse. Just a little light urban renewal via Kaiju combat. As Godzilla and Ghidorah continue their earth-shattering main event, Rodan, still under the hypnotic sway of Ghidorah's alpha call, swoops in for a cheap shot. He attacks Godzilla from the air, trying to turn the tide against the king of the monsters. It's an aerial ambush, adding another layer of chaos to the already destructive battle. But Godzilla is not alone. With a graceful yet fierce cry, Mothra, now in her magnificent imago form, flies into the fray. She engages Rodan in an exhilarating aerial dogfight, a ballet of wings and talons against the backdrop of the burning city. Mothra, despite her smaller size, is incredibly agile and determined, her bioluminescent wings creating dazzling patterns of light as she dodges Rodan's fiery assaults. The sound of their wings beating the air, the screech of their attacks, and the occasional blast of fire from Rodan create a truly spectacular, if terrifying, display. She's fighting with a ferocity born of loyalty, defending her king against the fiery aggressor. In a truly heroic and heartbreaking moment, Mothra sees Godzilla struggling, overwhelmed by Ghidorah's relentless assault. She makes the ultimate sacrifice. She flies directly into Rodan, impaling him with her razor-sharp stinger, effectively neutralizing the fiery titan, but the effort costs her everything. Weakened, she then flies towards Godzilla, dissolving into a brilliant shower of glowing energy that rains down upon him. This surge of bioenergy transfers her remaining life force and power directly into Godzilla, giving him the much-needed boost he requires. It's a tragic yet beautiful moment, a testament to Mothra's unwavering loyalty and her deep connection to Godzilla. Her sacrifice is a palpable, emotional gut punch, fueling Godzilla with renewed power and righteous fury. It's like watching your best friend take a hit for you, and then you just know it's time to unleash absolute vengeance. Ghidorah just made a very powerful enemy even angrier. Empowered by Mothra's sacrifice, Godzilla undergoes a spectacular and terrifying transformation. His entire body begins to glow with an intense, molten orange and red hue, as if he's absorbed the very core of the Earth's fiery heart. This is Burning Godzilla, a form of raw, unrestrained nuclear power. The temperature around him skyrockets, vaporizing everything in his immediate vicinity, and the air crackles with an almost unbearable heat. The ground beneath his feet smolders, and the very storm clouds above Boston begin to part under the sheer force of his radiated energy. He stands over a stunned and struggling Ghidorah, now unleashing devastating nuclear pulses, atomic shockwaves that radiate outward with incredible force. Each pulse sends a colossal wave of energy, incinerating Ghidorah's scales and causing the alien beast immense pain. The sound of these pulses is like 1,000 suns exploding, a rhythmic, earth-shattering roar of pure destruction. Ghidorah, for the first time, shows genuine fear. The tables have truly turned, and the hunter has become the hunted. This isn't just a physical battle anymore. It's an existential obliteration, a primal force of Earth purifying itself of an alien infection. Mark and the Monarch team watch in awe, realizing the true, unimaginable power of the King of the Monsters. It's a jaw-dropping spectacle, a moment where the sheer scale and intensity of Godzilla's power are fully unleashed. Ghidorah, who thought he was top dog, is about to learn that you don't mess with Mother Earth's favorite son when he's had his power nap and a nuclear snack. This is the kind of power-up that makes you wish you had a pause button just to take it all in. As Burning Godzilla unleashes his devastating atomic pulses, Ghidorah, severely weakened and desperate, tries one last, cowardly move. He attempts to finish off Madison, who is still trapped and vulnerable amidst the chaos. Mark sees it happening, his heart seizing with terror, knowing he's too far to reach her. But Emma, witnessing her daughter's peril and the cataclysmic scale of her own misguided plan, finally has her moment of clarity, her final, desperate act of redemption. The horrors she's unleashed, the lives lost, and the sheer destructive power of Ghidorah finally pierce through her misguided ideology. She realizes the true monster isn't just Ghidorah, but the path she's taken. With newfound resolve, she jumps into a Humvee, activating the Orker to maximum power, creating a powerful, irresistible beacon. She then drives the vehicle directly towards Ghidorah, intentionally drawing the three-headed beast's attention away from Madison and towards herself. Ghidorah, momentarily distracted, turns his fury on the tiny, defiant human. With a final, sorrowful look towards Madison, Emma crashes the Humvee into Ghidorah's massive form, detonating a series of internal explosives. The resulting explosion, though small against the scale of the Titans, causes a significant enough jolt to briefly stun and further injure the alien king, buying Godzilla precious moments. It's a tragic but powerful sacrifice, a mother redeeming her past mistakes by giving her life for her daughter. The sound of the explosion is quickly followed by the searing heat of Ghidorah's pained roar. It's a deeply emotional scene, a powerful moment of self-sacrifice that offers a glimmer of hope amidst the overwhelming destruction. She basically played chicken with a three-headed dragon and won, at the ultimate cost. A very bittersweet McDrop, if you ask me. Emma's sacrifice provides Godzilla with the crucial opening he needs. With a final earth-shattering roar, Burning Godzilla unleashes one last, colossal atomic pulse. This isn't just an attack, it's an absolute obliteration. The sheer force of the blast disintegrates Ghidorah's remaining heads and body, reducing the once mighty King of Terror to nothing but ashes and charred remnants. The sound of the blast is deafening, an echo of finality that signifies the end of Ghidorah's reign. The superstorm over Boston begins to dissipate, the oppressive clouds parting to reveal a clearing sky, as if the Earth itself is sighing in relief. The alien threat is finally, irrevocably gone. Godzilla, still glowing with residual heat, lets out a long, triumphant roar, a sound of victory and absolute dominance that reverberates across the planet. And then the true spectacle unfolds. As the other Titans, previously enslaved by Ghidorah's alpha call, begin to converge on the devastated city, they pause. Rodan, battered but still very much alive, lands and, after a moment of wary hesitation, bows his fiery head in submission. Soon, Behemoth, Scylla, Methuselah, and the newly revealed Titan known as Tiamat all arrive and collectively bow before Godzilla. It's a powerful, almost spiritual moment, a silent acknowledgement of his supremacy. Godzilla stands tall amidst the ruins, the undisputed alpha, the true king of the monsters, having defended his world from an alien invasion. The camera pans over Mark and Madison, reunited and safe, watching in awe and gratitude as the new, true ruler of Earth takes his rightful place. It's a satisfying conclusion, knowing that the planet now has a very grumpy, very powerful, but ultimately benevolent protector. He earned that crown, folks. With Ghidorah vanquished and Godzilla acknowledged as the undisputed king, the world slowly begins to heal. The epilogue unfolds with a series of newspaper headlines and news reports, declaring Godzilla king of the monsters and acknowledging the Titans as not just destructive forces, but as necessary elements of the planet's ecosystem. Miraculously, the Titans, now under Godzilla's benevolent alpha command, begin to actively restore the damaged Earth. Forests regrow at an accelerated rate. Polluted waters become clean, and the planet's natural balance is reasserted. It's a truly awe-inspiring vision of a world where humanity must learn to coexist with these ancient beings, embracing a new, wilder, but ultimately healthier future. The film ends on a note of cautious optimism, suggesting that while the world will never be the same, it has found a new, powerful guardian. However, in a tantalizing post-credit scene, a chilling reminder that evil always finds a way resurfaces. Alan Jonah and his surviving mercenaries are shown in a shadowy black market deal, purchasing one of Ghidorah's severed heads. This ominous reveal hints at dark intentions, suggesting that Ghidorah's reign of terror might not be entirely over, and perhaps a new, even more dangerous threat looms on the horizon. The inspirational tone gives way to a lingering sense of unease, ensuring that the saga of the Titans is far from complete. And that, my friends, is where our recap ends. This film truly highlights humanity's arrogance and resilience in the face of insurmountable odds. It shows us that even in our darkest moments, there's a chance for renewal, even if it comes in the form of colossal, fire-breathing lizards. It also makes you wonder what kind of environmental cleanup crew the Titans would recommend if they had Yelp. The journey through Godzilla, king of the monsters, reminds us that sometimes the biggest problems require the biggest solutions. And sometimes those solutions come with scales and atomic breath. Keep marveling at the colossal, and remember that even kings need a good nap after saving the world.